AEW Dynamite Grand Slam was truly a home run. Get it? Yeah. Anyways, look, here's the deal. Lots of big news. Ruby Riott talks about her relationship with Vince McMahon, or really, I should say, lack of a relationship, which kind of goes to tell you what some of the issues are in WWE compared to AEW. Christopher Daniels is returning to one of his most famous gimmicks in wrestling, and it should be coming to AEW soon. I think it's actually going to be a really cool thing if they do it with Aleister Black, aka Malakai Black. And then today we are also talking about the WWE superstars that didn't debut at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, because we have some major AEW updates for you. This is Destination Pro Wrestling. My name is Ango. All right, guys, let's talk about it. Ruby Riott, as you guys know, she was released by the WWE, and now she is doing big things in AEW. Despite the loss against Britt Baker, it is very clear that AEW has very big plans for this women's division. We also know that AEW is introducing a TBS championship belt for the women's division when AEW debuts on TBS, and that is also another video on this channel, so I'll put that link in the description or a video card somewhere up here. Nonetheless, Ruby Soho was on the podcast with Renee Young, and basically what happened was Ruby Soho was talking about her lack of relationship with Vince McMahon, and she kind of took a little bit of the fault too, basically just saying like that's not the type of person she is to wait at the office or wait at the door for Vince. She always kind of thought of it as a good thing if like the company's not talking to you, basically you're doing something fine. That's usually how it goes in the workplace, right? If you guys work somewhere, your boss would come up to you if there's an issue. They would kind of address it. That's not the culture that they have at WWE. WWE is a lot more, intense of a background situation that they have. It's way more intense than you can imagine. And she goes on to say that Vince McMahon is truly so busy. And, here's the thing. We've heard great stories about Tony Khan and the way Tony Khan works. He's made himself openly available to people. This is something that Bryan Danielson also just mentioned. Adam Cole just mentioned this. And this is something that we've known for a while. This guy is easily accessible to his talent. He's open to hearing ideas. He makes time for them. And guys, I think there is a correlation between that and the overall AEW product. And I get it. Vince McMahon is a busy guy. And I'm not going to tell WWE how to run their business because that's foolish. But at the same time, too, I look at it from an employee perspective. If I'm working a job somewhere, anywhere in the corporate world, and I don't really have a relationship with my boss, I'm not really communicating with them, how am I going to know the needs of the business? How am I going to know how to improve my role at the workplace? And, you look at somebody like Ruby Riott, who got released and comes back into pro wrestling rejuvenated, completely over with the AEW audience. The fans knew something that we all knew. It's just WWE refused to listen to the audience. And here's the thing, WWE controls so much of the product. It's like this micromanagement. And, when I see somebody like Ruby Soho talk about not having a relationship with Vince, it's very interesting because Bryan Danielson just recently revealed that he had a great relationship with Vince McMahon. And I guess, that to me doesn't sound right. Wrestling is, it's storytelling. And here's the thing, if you're trying to storytell these characters that you're introducing, you got to at least have something for everybody, or try to make something work for everybody. Everybody's got to at least get the opportunity. Just putting them on the show and having them lose in 30 seconds really doesn't do anything. And it just goes to show you why WWE's product is suffering and why AEW is doing really well. Like I said, I think there's a direct correlation. We're also going to talk a little bit about Christopher Daniels. As you guys see on the image here, Christopher Daniels, once known as the Fallen Angel, posted a video on Twitter during Grand Slam teasing the return of the Fallen Angel character. Now, for those who watched TNA or MLW Underground, hell, I'm pretty sure even ROH is in this conversation. Christopher Daniels as the Fallen Angel was some incredible stuff. Now, it's no secret that Christopher Daniels is getting up there in age, but the guy still wrestles really well. I actually want to see Christopher Daniels bring this character to life, but accompany Aleister Black, aka Malakai Black. Now, the reason why I really want to see this is, one, I think there could be some really cool storytelling that's done here, and AEW has shown us that they could bring us a lot of great in-ring action, but we really don't know what AEW can do in this world of superficial, storytelling. It's something that WWE has done a lot. We've seen it with Bray Wyatt. We've seen it with The Undertaker. And I almost get that vibe that AEW could do the same thing with Christopher Daniels and Malakai Black. And if you add a female in the mix, you can always add Abaddon. I just think there's a lot of potential there. We've talked so much about AEW introducing a new faction for Malakai Black, and I think we're going to get that soon. I would love to see Christopher Daniels join Malakai Black by his side. It would just be a really unique way to freshen things up for AEW. And also, Christopher Daniels is the man, so why not get something that awesome? I think everybody who watched TNA at some point knows how awesome this character was. Alright guys, as you know, AEW Dynamite Grand Slam was a very successful show, but it actually had no major surprises, which is a surprise in itself. Now, here's the thing, with AEW, things come out, people are talking, there's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation, there's a lot of contract talk, but it was almost certain that AEW had massive plans for this event to, obviously have some surprises. Now, we know that AEW's original surprise of Bryan Danielson was supposed to take place at Arthur Ashe Stadium, but that didn't happen because it happened in Chicago at All Out. So because of that move, it was speculated that WWE may potentially allow Bray Wyatt out of his non-compete early to go to New York and honor Brodie Lee. Now, the thing is, with Arthur Ashe Stadium, Bray Wyatt was not there, Braun Strowman wasn't there, Buddy Murphy wasn't there, the Inspiration, aka the Iconics, weren't there. There are a lot of WWE talent that were released, and none of them showed up in AEW. And I think AEW did this on purpose. I think AEW allow the speculation and the rumors to swirl, but also at the same time, too, they use it to their advantage. Like, we don't know the ratings just yet for this show, but we do know that AEW was very, very successful last night based on the social media. And here's the thing, when you look at trends in social media and the search engine and the way that it works, a lot of people have been talking about AEW Grand Slam in comparison to WWE this past week. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I have a very strong feeling that we are going to start seeing these wrestlers trickle in to AEW, but it's going to happen at a time where we least expect it. I think everybody was expecting something last night. We tuned in. We got an amazing show. We saw the youth of AEW rise to the top. We saw Pillman Jr. have a great match. We saw Britt Baker and Ruby Soho have a great match. And the great news is, when you look at what's happening here, I think AEW has plans for Bray Wyatt in Rochester, New York, which would make a little bit more sense because of Brodie Lee. Guys like Braun Strowman, Buddy Murphy, they have pretty much been linked to AEW, but they've also been linked to Impact. So the real question here is, will AEW work out a deal with Impact? Will AEW actually bring them in? A lot of things that people want to know. I'm very curious to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget, we have an official Discord server. Go ahead and click join, and I'll see you guys next time right here on Destination PW.